Hi, Shahab. Thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on here.
Well, as you know, and we are been doing these webinars to introduce some of the speakers. There's going to be a Digital World Expo coming up on the 27th of September at I think that's digitalworldexpo.com. And of course, you were there last year and are going to come back this year again. So first of all, tell us about last year.
Well, last year the topic was video campaign development. It's going to be roughly the same ideas this time around, but the difference is last time it was more classroom based. So, I stood up at the podium, had some slides, and the gist of my presentation that time was, you don't have to do mind-numbing video. Video can have storylines, video can have creativity. If it does, then it hits home with your target market even better. And I showed some examples, none of which I worked on. I thought if I were to do that, it'd be a little pretentious. So I took things from current Super Bowl ads, things like that, just to kind of show the difference between not having any sort of creativity and having creativity. And the main gist of that was budget doesn't matter. If you have an unbelievable idea, something super creative, choreographed, something that will make your perfect target market say, then that's a big chunk of what you need to get that video out there and shared and liked and things like that. This year, however, it's going to be a little bit more interactive. So we're going to try and recreate what it's like behind the scenes at an advertising agency when you're brainstorming to get the concept and the actual copy of that commercial before production. And that's the first session. The second session will be almost a critique and an analysis of the video created based on the first session.
Okay, great. So everybody that comes to your session is not going to be able to walk away with their idea having something done. But boy, if I was working on wanting to have a video, I'd certainly want to go through this process. I'd probably walk away with some better ideas for myself.
Exactly.
Before I forget, the caveat, I've seen a couple of odd things in the video here. I'm controlling the video. It's not the video guy. Blame me, not him. If he was handling it, it would all be expert.
Is it, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird things there.
Right. So, yeah, good. So, and for those who haven't come to Digital World Expo, let's talk a little bit about the experience. What makes this show unique, and why are you inviting people to come to it?
Well, the show is definitely unique because it brings together all of the cutting-edge technologies that are out there when concerned with mobile marketing, with online activities. Then there's a lot of things that change on the fly, and there really wasn't anything on the West Coast. Actually, there hasn't been since Comdex went away, where people got together to talk about the future technologies and where things are going. And last year was a blast. The keynotes last year were unbelievably amazing. Really excited this year. And we got an Assurance Advertising booth this year, so you can come meet the entire team at the booth. We're really amped. We're really excited. And this year it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is unbelievably amazing. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah. Well, and it's at the Mirage. There's a lot of shows I go to. Yeah, some of the shows I go to get the feeling like low bidder got the location, and other ones are just so large that you get lost. You doesn't even matter where you are in the convention center. But
right.
Mirage is about perfect.
And you know what, the exhibit floor, it's very intimate. So you don't feel at some shows it's really hard to walk up to booths because number one, there are so many, and number two, you just feel like, ah, man, yeah, now I don't want to feel like I'm being sold to. But at Digital World Expo last year, that wasn't the atmosphere. The atmosphere was inviting and welcome, and everybody was there. Everybody was, pulling up their bootstraps and showing off what they'd worked on, during the year and what's coming up. Definitely a good experience. And
Yeah.
so for those who aren't going to be able to make it this year, definitely come next year. But if you're just on the fence waiting to buy the ticket, I would buy the ticket now.
Yeah, yeah, it's good. I mean, what I got out of it was so much more than what I thought I was getting because I always go to these kind of things thinking about the networking other than the classes. I'm speaking, and yes, you'll learn something if you come to my class. Same with Shahab, but you're gonna the boost and the interaction with the people, and there's ought to be a little bit of partying in it too.
Yeah. Well, it's Las Vegas, so.
Yeah, we take care of that. We wouldn't be Las Vegas if we didn't do. All right, so hey, so even if somebody came to last year's session, they're going to learn something new this year. You can never go wrong with the brainstorming. But tell us about this. What kind of things do you think are going to be some takeaways from going through this? Teach us something.
Through Digital World Expo or my class?
Your class in particular, because you're the expert there.
Well, the main takeaways, last year, you would assume a majority of the attendees at Digital World Expo were marketers. Mm-hmm. That's just not true. There was CEOs, there are, startups, engineers creating their own apps and things like that. And so there are people who are coming to Digital World Expo for the technology aspect of it. And giving them that experience of what goes on. People give us their projects, and then we come back with proposals and bids, but they don't really know what happens in between that time. So this is a way to not only show them what we do, and when we disappear for a couple days, but also gives them the tools to do so themselves. Get their board of directors together. Let's, get a whiteboard and let's start brainstorming. And this is how, they do it at Assurance, and how they set up ideas. And, it's...
That's a very important thing, the cross-pollination of ideas, because, we talk
exactly.
about...
Exactly.
We talk about whether or not there's anything left to create, and of course there is. The old line about they wanted to close down the patent office, 100 years ago because everything had been created. But there's that sort of idea. But really, what I find is most creativity is not about inventing something new. It's about finding something in one field that goes to another. And so I was just amazed that. I was able to meet somebody that, just went about business in a completely different way than me, one of the vendors, and changed everything but what we were doing. We shot some video, talked to a few people there last year, and it was just, they're all working on things completely different than I would have thought of. And so, it's a must.
That's necessary, and then you take the, seemingly unrelated ideas, and sometimes out of that comes the perfect, tagline for your campaign, and it, you send it running, and all of a sudden you start making, getting more business, and that's the point of business.
I tell people if they're on the fence about whether to do something like this, show up, find me, come to me with your big problem that you think has got to be solved, and we'll chat for a few minutes, and I'll point you over to somebody in the same direction. I'll bet you feel somewhat the same way. It's if somebody calls you up and wants to come to your office and have you fix a problem for them, you can't do that. But run into somebody at one of these conferences, I learn by talking to people about whatever it is they're working on. So if you're planning on doing video, this is a session you got to go to. If not, then maybe you'll learn something.
Yeah, and we'll see you at the booth. If not, we'll see you at the booth. That's why we got the booth this year.
What I'm saying is you might learn something just by sitting in the session.
Definitely.
Yeah, and so generally the best thoughts I have The best learnings I have come from thoughts and setting through a session. And sometimes the sessions aren't that good. Not Digital World Expo. I don't have an experience there, but at other things, just some boring sessions, and it's okay. But when you got all these people so far thinking ahead, that it's gonna open up your mind.
To be truthful, there were some sessions where almost everything in the session I already knew, but I have no problem with that. Sometimes professionals and gurus and whoever need reminders. You know what? I used to do that a couple years back. Let me, hone my skills again. And
right. And it may be, what I'm saying is that may be on a topic entirely outside of what's in the thing. Just the fact you got out of your office, you're going to attend an event, and that's where the magic happens.
Exactly.
Either that or while you're partying. Partying, booth, keynote, whatever it is you like, come on down. They got it all, and we'll have some fun. All right, great. We wanted to meet you, but we could turn in a little bit of a pitch for Digital World Expo. Tell us just a little something about your company and what you do.
Well, we are a creative agency in Las Vegas. We can create the blueprints for and carry out an entire campaign, but we also don't mind, coming in and taking one little facet of a larger project on. What we want to do is foster creativity in advertising so that certain companies' target markets are inspired and engaged rather than just hit in the face with coupons and promo codes, for lack of a better word.
I'm looking forward to hanging out with you and seeing your session.
It'll be fun. And yours as well.
Yeah. Thanks. So, come and see us all, and we'll be there September 27th at the Digital World Expo. Thanks, Shahab.
Thanks for having me on here.
All right, bye.